Y'all ain't gonna believe this one. 50 Cent is back at it again, and this time he's clapping back hard at Dame Dash. This situation between 50 Cent and Dame Dash is crazy. I mean, it all started years ago, but these two are still throwing shots. So let's break it all down. 50 Cent once signed $1 million deal with Eminem and Dr. Dre, but according to Dame Dash, that was nothing. Can y'all believe that? $1 million being called nothing. Dame was really out here saying stuff like, that ain't no money. Meanwhile, 50's like, I'm from 134th Street. $1 million is some money. I'm about to take you back to the time when 50 Cent got his big break. We're talking about an iconic moment in hip hop history. Picture this. It's 2002 and 50 Cent just signed a $1 million deal with Shady Aftermath. After that though, one of the most respected CEOs in the game at that time, and Dame Dash, completely downplays that whole deal. Dame Dash, who used to be on top of the world with Roc-A-Fella Records, went through some serious financial struggles. We're talking about debts, unpaid child support, and the Roc-A-Fella auction to cover a $1 million lawsuit. Now 50 Cent was on the $1 Million Worth of Game podcast, and he dropped some knowledge about how Dame Dash reacted to his deal. This was a big moment for 50. A $1 million deal? One of the biggest moves in his life. But Dame was not impressed at all. He told 50, and I quote, after you get a watch, a chain, look out for the homies. You do this, that, and the third. It's nothing. Let that sink in, y'all. 50's out here thinking he hit the jackpot. And Dame's telling him that $1 million is like pocket change. And you know 50 never forgets. He kept that moment in the back of his mind, and now, years later, he's using it to call Dame out. 50 said, the only person that pointed out that $1 million was no money was Damon Dash, and he has no money now. That's cold, y'all. 50 ain't have to do Dame like that now. A lot of folks don't realize how deep that statement actually goes. Dame used to run the entire game with Jay-Z. But now he's facing lawsuit after lawsuit. Meanwhile, 50 is still stacking his paper up, living that mogul life. How ironic. This whole situation with Dame is wild though, because it's not like Dame's just sitting back taking 50 shots. Nah, Dame fired back, and he's flexing hard. He went on his American New Network and let people know. Dame said, my child support alone is $250,000 a year. So Dame is basically saying that a broke man doesn't pay that kind of child support. But hold up, does paying child support mean you're financially good? Dame is trying to prove that he's not broke by showing he's paying for his kids' education, their camps, their college. But let's not forget, he's auctioning off his stake in Roc-A-Fella Records to cover his debts. That's $823,000 in a lawsuit, $9 million in taxes, and $197,000 in unpaid child support. So Dame might be keeping his kids covered, but everything else? Now that's up for debate. Dame even hit 50 with a CEO War challenge. Y'all heard that. He challenged 50 to go head to head with their TV networks. Dame's got America New, and he's calling out 50's 50 Cent Action Channel. Dame is basically saying, let's see who the better CEO is. Honestly, you gotta give it to Dame for his confidence. Even when he's down, he's still going to represent himself as a boss. Dame said, if you've got the money, buy my shares in Roc-A-Fella. The starting price was $1.2 million. Now it's $3 million. So it's almost like Dame is trying to bait 50 into making a move, but 50 didn't take the bait. Not yet, at least. Now let's talk about the psychology behind all this. Dame was once in 50's position, running the game with Roc-A-Fella Records, calling shots and making deals. But when you've had that much power and influence, losing it all can really mess with you. This whole feud isn't just about money. It's about status, legacy, and pride. Dame, despite all his financial troubles, still sees himself as the kingpin he was in the 90s. And he's not about to let 50 Cent just walk all over his name. But let's be real, 50's got the upper hand here. He's winning financially. He's got TV shows, music, and even his book hustle is on lock. So the question is, Do you think Dame has a point? Or is 50 right to call him out? Does Dame's $250,000 child support flex mean he's not broke? Or is 50 claim more legit? And who do you think would win this CEO war Dame is talking about? I gotta know what y'all are thinking here. Personally, I have great respect for both of these dudes. I think they could do more together than apart. I think 50 is right for calling out Dame though. And Dame can't be upset about that. When Dame said what he said about 50, he knew 50 would fire back. He probably didn't know though that it would be all these years later. And speaking of 50, let's not forget that this man doesn't just throw shots for fun. Everything he does has a purpose. The way he used his past with Eminem and Dr. Dre to build an empire, now that's a masterclass in how to turn a record deal into a full-blown empire. Remember when 50 said you can't rewrite history? That's him reminding everybody that his partnership with M and Dr. Dre was monumental. It wasn't just $1 million deal. That was the beginning of something way bigger. And let's be honest, we love seeing these clashes between legends. It brings up so much history, so many iconic moments from hip-hop's past. But at the same time, it's a reminder of how quickly things can change in this industry. 1 minute you're on top, and the next minute you're at the bottom. I gotta say though, I'm still rooting for Dame Dash. I mean, he's been through it. He's taken hits, lost money, lost friendships, but he's still out here still hustling. That takes a lot of resilience. You gotta give Dame Dash his credit for that. Like the late great Nipsey Hussle said, never let a hard time humble you. Dame gotta hold this L when it comes to 50. 50 Cent is way too petty, and that's not the guy you want to go back and forth with. It just goes to show, you never know how long a person can hold a grudge against you. Some people are just waiting for you to fall off so they can step all over you. And that definitely seems to be the case here in this situation. It's clear that 50 Cent feels some type of way about many people we call legends in the game. Let's not forget, 50 Cent was blackballed from the industry at one point, and a lot of people despised his come up with Eminem and Dr. Dre. I'm sure Dame Dash ain't the only OG 50 Cent has smoke for. I also can't help but to think that a lot of 50 Cent's disdain for Dame Dash comes from his lack of respect for Jay-Z. For years now, 50 Cent has been critical of Jay-Z and everybody around him. Maybe that's a reach, but I wouldn't be surprised. Those two have had a heated rivalry for years. 50 Cent even felt like Jay-Z tried to blackball him from his Super Bowl appearance with Eminem. Now, I could be wrong about all this, but that's just my take on this whole situation. Food for thought. Peace.